Hello, dearest friends, dearest beautiful souls of love and light. This is Lady Nenari, Princess of the Sea, coming to you with a special audio video. So, I just recently received a question, as ye can or know that I often do questions either on Facebook Lives or in video format like this as part of the Satsang of the heart with the Sangha. For those of you who are free from knowing about what Sangha means the spiritual community or the spiritual gathering, the connection that you have. And Satsang means to sit in the truth. To sit in the truth of who you really are, in the heart of it. So we have a Satsang of the heart, and I cover a bit what that means in a bit more detail in my 2 recent book series that I published 3 years ago, called Wow, Words of Wisdom from the Princess. So that is a culmination of many channels that I've done over probably about the last 20 years that never made it into book format, and some that have been expanded upon recently, and I've updated the book and stuff like that in that regard. So I do have questions coming in from time to time, and I have a beautiful goddess who is away on retreat at the moment, and she sent in a question, and so she respectfully asked per request to have something posted on Facebook about it. So I was inspired by Source, the Master Artist, God, Spirit, whatever you so choose to call such, of this Source energy, to go ahead and record this in response to her and to be able to put it out to the world to benefit everyone as she, per her request. So this is for you, beautiful goddess. So she writes in and she says, sometimes an energy that comes across us that we don't resonate with, that person that we just meet because they're annoying you, i.e., I'm going to say triggering you, because the way they act or asking too many questions, it's like they don't ken or don't know when is the right time to ask a person a question. She goes on to explain in her situation, a new woman has arrived there. We talked upon her arrival, and the next morning were questions that she can't address it to me, her schedule, or diary, basically, as we call it here, why the yoga teacher is now on time, she was running late, she was too friendly and nay kenning or nay knowing the Indian culture, because she's in India at the moment on retreat. Her loud voice when everyone is so quiet, asking her in the middle of the day how was her day, and she was in the zone, this goddess who's writing in, and she was nay in a place of wanting to talk to anyone. So she's saying that her senses get triggered by her and that she left. So the question she has is it okay to feel this way? Is it okay to go with what is good for her soul? Like she can't pretend to be surrounded by that kind of energy that annoys her. Is she doing something wrong? Is she okay to leave the room peacefully? So let me first say, beautiful goddess, that, and this is for everyone as well, because this is going out for all of humanity, it is more than okay to always feel how you feel. No matter what is on, how you feel within the sensations in your body and the emotions that you are emoting through your body of annoyance, triggers, it's always okay wherever you're at and feeling an emotion to feel and experience the emotions that you feel. Okay? That's the first part, is actually acknowledging, as she did here in your letter, that you were annoyed, you were feeling triggered, you cannot be around that kind of energy. It's always okay. Acknowledge always how you are feeling and emoting. Okay, that's the first step. Are you doing something wrong? Nay, it's only natural to experience that once you are triggered by something. So, nay, you're nay doing something wrong, but I'm going to go deeper since you asked the question as to what this is really about. And the third thing before I get into that deeperness is, are ye okay to leave the room peacefully? Aye, of course you are. You have divine free will, or what we call divine free choice in spirit or soul. Always. You can always choose. And if you like the choice, you can always choose again. Okay, that's the beauty of being here on this earth with divine free will, or divine free choice as we call it from the soul. However, within that as well, there is also soul agreements. And there is also deeper essence as to why this is occurring. So I'm going to start with the first of the earthly layer, and then we're going to go deeper and deeper into the soul essence of this. So from the earthly surface layer, I'm going to invite you, beautiful goddess, into an understanding. My intuition tells me that this woman is probably from America or another culture, as you said, nay kenning or knowing the Indian culture of where you're at. Also, you have been there in retreat there for quite some time already. So you've been able to adjust to the vibration of being quiet, of being in stillness, of being in calmness and centeredness. Now, you may remember when you first arrived, you had that vivacious excitement, you were all happy to be there, and maybe you were outwardly excitable, but inwardly you were excited, you were chuffed, as we say here, or excited, happy to be there and to embrace the Indian culture and to embrace the nature and the retreat and whatnot. So I'm going to invite you into a bit of compassion for this woman who has arrived as she did, because she's in that excitable place. She's thirsty for connection as well. Okay, oftentimes when we come to a retreat, part of it is because we're looking to go within and to heal and to become quiet within, but also the other part is we're trying to connect and commune with others in a like-hearted way. And so she was full of vivaciousness and full of excitement and wanting to ask questions. And of course, understandably, you would be annoyed, as I said, you would be annoyed and be triggered by the fact that you're in this quietness and calmness and centeredness space. And here comes in this energy of, really loud and excited and asking all these questions and all of these things on, being way too friendly, right? This is the culture that she's come from. She has yet to embrace and recalibrate her vibrational frequency to the vibrational frequency of the retreat. Okay? So she's coming in with the only thing that she kens or knows, right? So as she's there, for however long she is, she will readjust and come into that quietness and centeredness. So I'm going to invite you from the earthly perspective to just have a wee bit of compassion and understanding that although it may annoy you, it may trigger you, you may feel like leaving the room and whatnot, this is just her coming in as who she is or who she kens her or knows herself to be, and has nay been adapted to the frequency of this meditation of the Indian culture yet. Okay, so that would be the first layer. Now the second layer is, again, I'm going to stress, it is more than okay to feel triggered. It's more than okay to feel how you feel, to feel annoyed and to feel as if to walk away quietly and peacefully and leave the room. And you can do such. I've been in situations where I've done such as well. However, my next deeper layer to you is this is actually where your deeper work begins. And what I mean by that is you want to ask the question, really, why? Why is this woman triggering you? Why is this beautiful goddess annoying you? What is it underneath that that's causing this trigger? Because of several things. Usually, when a situation of this situation happens, occurs, if we are triggered and annoyed, we will do exactly what you said at the end of your question here, which is just leave the room peacefully. We would be triggered about it. It would just be an observation that, okay, this is something that is an energy that is as peaceful or calming and centering as I would like. I'm just going to leave the room. In other words, it would be a preference without an emotional charge. You would just simply say, I'm going to leave the room to yourself. You may necessarily have to say it to anybody else. I'll give you 2 examples from my own life. The situation with my twin soul. Every time we connect, at some point in fashion, everything goes well and we have a loving connection and it's very deep and very intense and wonderful until we come to the next steps on the journey of where it's time for us to physically connect and to take the next steps of him coming to be here with me, of him coming to marry me and whatnot. And just recently, his car had broken down for good, and he ended up in the process of getting a car from his sister, who had just passed, which was actually in America, and obviously he's in Canada. So he was willing to go through all of the 3D earthly governmental processes to bring this car over the border into Canada, yet he would be unwilling to do such for me in terms of marrying me and bringing me back to Canada, right? And so I was annoyed, but I was firm with him in the sense of saying that to him. And also, he insisted in this place, I need to be alone and all of this stuff, which is always what happens. It's a pattern. And this is a key point, and I will explain a bit further on why I just said that. So keep that in mind, that it's a pattern, okay? So I simply said to him, nay angry, nay upset, nay annoyed, nay triggered, that if this is how he feels, then this is fine. He is free to be this way. And I explained a little bit deeper that in a way he's deluding himself because of his wounds, that this is why this is happening. At the same moment, I just simply said, then we are to part ways, and that I wish him well, right? Okay, and another example, I just recently had a woman who was on my soul mediumship course almost 2 years ago. And she saw it fit to go ahead and take the pieces of the course and to create this workshop from it, where she has people randomly who have no idea what they're doing, accessing their Akashic records and teaching the difference between soul mediumship and other forms of mediumship. So when I found out about this, I did question her privately, and she tried to assure me that she was teaching what it is that I teach, yet she had gone out and publicly put a post on Facebook of an invitation saying basically what I teach. Now, the event never went off, and she ended up canceling it because no one responded to it. Why? Because she was coming from integrity. She was coming from proper intention. Because the course, as you well can, because you have been on the course is designed that you receive a certificate of completion, giving you the ability to be a soul reader, an Akashic Records reader, to assist humanity, not to go teach the course. Now, I have another woman in the Netherlands who came to me and asked to train with me to become certified as a teacher of the course. And she would never do such, of going off and trying to utilize the course. So not only was this other woman that I'm speaking of, who was down south in England, disrespectful to me in doing so, she was also disrespectful to the course that she was given that I taught her, in that respect. So I was very firm with her. Now, I'm nae annoyed, I'm saddened by the situation, but I was very firm with her and explaining to her that the course didn't give the permission for her to go ahead and do this. And she teaches a crystal healing course, and I explained to her, and she's also what's known as a different type of energy healer. And so I explained to her in my post, I said publicly on the invite, since obviously she didn't receive the message clear enough when we had our private message, I said, I asked her, I said, do you think that your energy healer teacher that certified you as a practitioner in this energy healing modality would appreciate you going and teaching this energy healing modality when you've only been certified as a practitioner? Nay. And I said, you're also a crystal healing teacher. Would you want your students to go forth and start teaching your crystal course to other people without being certified as a teacher? Nay. That would be disrespectful to you, right? So I was firm, and I wished her well at the same moment, okay? I'm nae angry, saddened because of seeing this happen, because at one point, this woman helped me in healing of my cancer by providing some CBD oil. I provided her hours of mentoring without asking her for any monetary sustenance or anything of that nature, and you know, she did help me with the CBD oil for the cancer and whatnot, and so for her to do such did sadden me, okay, but I walked away peacefully, stating firmly how I felt in her disrespecting me and disrespecting the course. But again, I walked away peacefully, wishing her well. Okay, I was nae triggered emotionally by it, in other words. Okay, so this is the difference, and this is why I ask you and invite you into what is it about this woman's behavior that is triggering you? Why is it triggering you? What is it about? Where is to go back to what I said to you about my twin soul, because the situation with this woman in the course is nae a pattern. This is just something that randomly happened, okay? The situation with my twin soul is a pattern. So if you notice, when something usually triggers us and we get annoyed, as you indicated that you are, it is because there is a repetitive pattern of that has gone on in your life, and may even have happened in other lives as well, if you're able to tune into that, okay? But you want to go back and look at that and see what the pattern is, and then heal the pattern, okay? So my way of healing the pattern, and this can very well be your way of healing the pattern, is to go ahead and leave the room peacefully, as I left peacefully with this woman, as I left peacefully with my twin soul, wishing them both well in the various situations, okay? The deeper work, though, is, and the understanding is, in both situations, for me, I was nae triggered in terms of emotionally annoyed or upset or anything like that. Anytime we're annoyed or upset is because there is an unmet need there. Or we would become somewhat immune to it. You would have been just, like I said, it would have been just, oh, this is who she is, as I invited you in the beginning part, oh, she's new, she's nae used to the Indian culture yet and whatnot, but it's nae something that's comfortable for me to be in that energy, nae trigger, nae annoyance, I'm just going to leave the room. Do you understand the difference? Okay? So the inner work here is then healing that in terms of within, finding the pattern and sussing it out and being able to shifting it within. Because you don't have any control over other people, right? As you well can or well know this. Okay, you have no control over what this woman is going to do, how she's going to act, if she's being vivacious, asking questions at the wrong time and whatnot. You have no control over that. Okay, what you do have control over is your reaction to it, and or better said, response. So rather than reacting from a trigger, which is fight, flight, freeze mode, reptilian mind, and whatnot, being more in the heart and responding, which was seeing, I see this as a pattern. Nay saying you're doing something wrong, nay saying anything about that, just notice it's a pattern. And how do I heal this pattern? Healing it by healing your perception within, rather than saying, oh, it's her fault. Or even if somebody's doing something lovely, oh, it's wonderful, such and such is doing something lovely for me. Or I feel lovely when I'm with this person. Looking at it as a pattern of finding fault with them and then turning it inward. Nay, turning the fault inward, as you were saying, am I doing something wrong? Nay, you're not doing something wrong. What you're going to turn inward is having a look at that pattern of reaction. And then choosing to responsibility, choosing to respond. Sometimes you may need to be firm, just like I was firm with my twin soul and with this woman, saying, right, look, this was never, this course is never designed for you to actually teach it, and it was disrespectful to me. Yet, I left in a peaceful way. Yeah? But I had done the inner work within me to check in first and to see, okay, am I reacting to this or am I responding to this? Now, the first way to do this is in the moment when something is happening, start with your breath. Start with your breath, deeply breathe in the Buddha belly breath. As you're breathing and expanding your belly, do 4 of those and releasing and letting go through the nose. And just exactly doing that, releasing and letting go, coming into calmness and centeredness and peace. And then, why is this triggering me so? What's this about? Where's there a pattern in which people have triggered me, in which they have been loud, or asking questions at the wrong time, or acting the way that she is? Where is that? Nay, because you're placing blame on other people, but where's the pattern in my life of my reacting to that? And then the next question is, how can I heal that? How can I integrate that? How can I choose to come into a more response rather than reaction? It may mean leaving the room. It may also mean, in a loving way, going forth to her and explaining to her, listen, I understand you're just new here. You may be free from understanding or kenning or knowing the Indian culture or what this retreat is about. I just wanted to let you ken that there's a certain time. She may have no clue, right? Because she's new there, right? So you do have that as an option outwardly. But first, come from the inwardly. Take the time to calm and center and change your perception of how you perceive her. She may still be annoying. She may still be unaware of the Indian culture. Just like this woman I'm speaking of, she still went ahead and did what she did. My twin soul, he still went ahead and did what he did. However, my response to it was different. Yeah? And then look even deeper at the pattern would be my next invitation to you. Look deeper at the pattern of why it is that you choose to have people come into your life who show this to you. So, in a way, the universe is a reflection. In a way, nay. Sometimes it's based upon soul agreement. So, to go back to the example of my twin soul. My twin soul is showing me this repetitive pattern, nay as a mirror, but as a soul agreement. So on a surface level, there is, the universe is just a mirror and it only reflects to you what is your being within, what you feel, what you think, or nay, are thinking consciously, subconsciously within. That's a very surface layer. When you get to the soul of it, there is a soul agreement between my twin soul and I for him to show me this repetitive pattern. Why? So that I can suss it out, so that I clearly can or know whether it's him or other divine masculine in men in my life who treat me this way, who are nay present for me, who are nay able to be with me physically, who are saying that they place more importance over other things than me or than source, who are nay fully living in their soul purpose. Because there is nothing worse than a man who is nay living in their soul purpose. And right now my twin soul is deluding himself, and I say that nay as a judgment, just as an observation of his behavior. He's deluding himself to think that his purpose is to somehow save the world of all this evil, as he had texted me recently. That, there's this evil and he's got to go into battle and, all this other stuff that he texted me. When it's nay about that, his sole purpose is Song of the Troubadour, what he wrote, doing such with me, and the music and message of love. And so he is going off onto other things and nay doing what the king or source sent him here to do. Okay? And so there's nothing worse than a man who's nay living in his soul purpose. It's a big turnoff to us as divine feminine goddesses, right? So he's bringing forth this repetitive pattern for me to be able to suss that out within him and within other divine masculine men, and either to help guide them, if they are open to it, into blossoming into their soul, which is what my purpose is. One of my many aspects of my purpose here on this earth is to help souls like yourself and divine masculine men and all souls to blossom into the soul of who they are. Or if they're nay willing, to simply let go in love. And so we have a soul agreement for that. Now, it's a repetitive pattern on his end because it's something he's nay healed within him. And that repetitive pattern will stop as I suss that out and basically say, no, thank you, I'm going to part ways with you, and I wish you well, which is then my new pattern of choosing. And I have done such with other divine masculine men who come to me, who many of them wish to heal and wish to integrate, and it's absolutely wonderful. But every now and again, I'll have someone come forth who is a soul agreement, who will nay be that way. And if they're nay willing to shift and transform, I wish them well in the kindest of love and let go, right? And that's our soul agreement. So you actually, beautiful goddess, have a soul agreement with this woman. She is here purposefully to trigger you, nay as a reflection of who you are, but on a very deeper level, and nay reflecting the sense of unconscious thoughts and whatnot, of patterns within you necessarily, completely. She's here to ignite within you, to come into that place of calmness, centeredness, and peacefulness, to choose differently, rather than reacting in annoyance or reacting in triggering. As you said, your senses get triggered by her. Okay? Noticing that you're being triggered and then turning it around within and choosing differently to be free from being triggered. Okay? It's kind of like once you're in meditation and a mosquito lands on your nose, or a midgie, as we call them here, lands on your nose and is either biting you or a fly is bothering you or something of that nature. You're meant to come to the point where you just let the fly be, or you let the midgie or mosquito be. Let them do what they're doing, because you cannot change what they're going to do. But you can change how you feel within. So that's your soul agreement with this woman, and is why ultimately she's come into your life. To have you choose divine free choice, which is why it's called divine free choice. Are you going to choose to be annoyed, choose to be triggered, or are you going to choose a different path, the path of the peacefulness, which may mean leaving the room peacefully, as you said. It's just an invitation. How and why are you leaving the room peacefully? Are you leaving the room peacefully because she's annoying you and triggering you? Or are you leaving peacefully, as I said earlier, because it's just an observation that, okay, she's being who she is. I'm allowing her to be who she is, because I can't do anything else but allow people to be who they are. And I'm secure within me, insecure, secure within, nay, the other meaning of insecure. I'm secure enough within my vibration and connection with Source, the Master Artist, God, Spirit, that I'm allowing that to affect me, and I'm just leaving the room peacefully, as was shared with you earlier. Okay? So this is the wisdom to answer your beautiful question, beautiful goddess. Because when you come into that place of just choosing, then you're free from projecting onto others to begin with. You just notice an observation, like I said to you about my twin soul's behavior and that other woman I was speaking of. They're going to do what they're going to do. I cannot control that. All I can control is my response to it. And my response was to share firmly, in a loving way, but firmly, right, this is the situation. With the woman, this was disrespectful. And with my twin soul, here's the situation of what's on with that, and I am walking away. Nay trigger, just walking away. So this is the wisdom, Divine Feminine Goddess, for you. May this bless you, and may this bless all of humanity in helping you on the path. Wherever you are maybe triggered or annoyed or experiencing human emotions, that you can reach for the deeper, soulful aspect. May this guide you in love always, in all ways. Espavo.